Does that look stupid? It's about as good as it's gonna get when you're wearing a sweater. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kerra. Fred's over there on his chair today. I'm gonna just jump right into a normal podcast episode. Starting with what I'm wearing. This is the Bloom Pullover by Brianna Mason. I finished this back in August. Knit it with Cascade 220. What can I say? I love it. It fits perfectly. I did have to go in and do some major sweater surgery because I found out through this sweater that short row shaping on a circular yoke, not for me. It basically just folded itself up in the back and like canceled itself out. And I didn't know that it did that until I tried it on when I finished the yoke. So then I had to go in and snip the short rows out. Wasn't too bad. It was actually kind of easy. It's not as scary as people make it out to be. You just have to know how to read your fabric and how it all interacts with each other. You do have to kind of know what you're doing, but it's really not that difficult. So that's the Bloom Pullover. My other finished object that I have today is my Halloween sweater. This pattern is literally called Halloween Sweater 2022 by Nifty Salinger. I finished this on, I think, the last day of September. So I wore it a few times in October. I knit it with, the black is Cascade BFL, and the orange is my Handspun. And I also did I don't know what these are called. The fencing on the bottom, and then I did a corrugated rib for the sleeves. Don't look too closely because the sleeves are kind of different sizes. But that's what I get for splitting for sleeves at the bar. It's good enough for a sweater that a few wears a year. I blocked the smaller sleeve pretty aggressively. I don't know how that happened. I really don't, because there's like the same number of pumpkins on each sleeve, so I don't know what happened. That's what I get for doing something that involves counting in an environment not conducive to counting. Still very pleased with it. I have a ton of this orange handspun left over, like a full 100 grams of it, if not more. Maybe I'll make a matching hat or some socks, or probably not socks because I do prefer my socks to be superwash because I'm a lazy clothes washer, and if I can't just put it in the washer, I'm fine to hang to dry, but I don't really want to hand wash. I've also finished a couple pairs of socks, some hats. Let's move on to what I am working on. Spoiler alert, it's a lot. The first thing I pulled out of the pile is the Novice Cardigan Chunky Edition by Petite Knit. I haven't worked on this in a few weeks. I've been busy with other things. And also it's reached the point where like, I don't really want to, it's already like big to carry around. Like it has its own full tote bag. And I am making this out of Jody long Andeamo in the color 9 Pansy. And this yarn does not pick up on camera how pretty it is. Cause like it's got little fluffs of hot pink in there that, I don't know. I did manage to capture it on camera once, and it was like a very specific lighting condition. I learned how to knit backwards for this because I cannot stand purling with this yarn. It's just because it's a super bulky, so you can actually see where I started knitting backwards because it's much more even than when I was knitting and purling. Now I've gotten pretty good at knitting backwards. I'll do it whenever I can, really. The other day I knit a heel without a single purl, without turning the work ever. Pretty impressive. I'm pretty sure that wonkiness will block out in the end. But yeah, I need to pick this back up and work on it because I do want to wear it. And we had our first snow of the season last week, and today it's 65 degrees. So, you know, it might still be a minute before, well, I obviously have to finish before I can wear it, but weather-wise before I can wear it. Next on the needles is the Zipper Sweater by Petite Knit. I haven't gotten super far. This is the third time I'm knitting this pattern, and I'm teaching a class in this, so I gotta get to the next portion before class in 2 weeks. But I'm knitting this with Cascade 220 in the color Crushed Grapes, which is number 9642. But I love this pattern. I mean, I love a zip. It's got a double thick collar, which is like so luxurious. I'm obsessed with heathered yarns lately. Like, they're so much prettier than just a solid color, I think, especially when it's just like one color. Like for this, like there's no color work. Like for color work, I love a solid color. I also love a color changing yarn. But if it's just like a full piece, plain, one color, I'm going for a heathered yarn because that just adds so much more depth to it. This is my intro to raglan sweater that I like to recommend to people. I'm a little bit more advanced than if it was not a zipper, but like that makes it more fun. Then my students also get to learn how to add a zipper to their knitting. You just have to be willing to do a little bit of hand sewing. There are methods of doing it as you're knitting it, but I find that I prefer to put the zipper in after I've blocked the piece, because if your yarn behaves differently after it's blocked, then, well, your zipper is gonna like be wavy or too tight. That just doesn't look nice. So I always say put the zipper in after it's blocked, so that's where it's gonna be. That's that. I need to work on that. This is the Braidy loop sweater by Other Loops, and I'm knitting this in Cascade Woolpaka in the color 24 Yakima Heather. I love this yarn. I hope we bring this into the shop. I mean, yeah, there are nicer alpaca blends because Peruvian wool is a coarser wool, which is what's blended with the alpaca. But I think it's got a really nice stitch definition, I think. And like, I don't know, it just looks like the cables look so good. And it's like immediately so warm. I mean, I'm not one, like I'll always at least wear a t-shirt or a tank top under a sweater. If not, also a long sleeve shirt too, depending on how cold it is outside or if my like skin is feeling particularly sensitive. That next to skin softness is not really like the biggest concern for me. It is when I'm making like stuff that touches my neck. Like Cascade 220 is definitely not like the softest yarn out there, but it really doesn't bother me. I just split for sleeves, so I'm cranking the body out. I'm really excited for this sweater. It's really pretty. I love like the little cable detail. Cables are really calling my name lately. I love like the rib on it. Yeah, I'm excited for this. And I love this yarn. I just love this project. My current head empty project is some holiday season socks. I'm not using a pattern, just like my own vanilla toe up that I've found fits me pretty well. And I'm using Turtle Pearl self-striping yarn in Mistletoe Kisses, and this is the fingering weight. So, and I got the contrasting heel toe bundle. So the main yarn is like the white and the green and the red here, and then the solid red for the toe is a separate yarn. I do want to start writing patterns because I got super inspired. Last week, we had Dawn Barker here at the Madison Knitters Guild last weekend, and I went to her assigned pooling class, and some of the stitches that she's come up with are like so cool, and sitting there, I'm like, a sock would go really hard with these ideas. You know, I talked to her and she was like, yeah, people like have been dying for socks, but I don't like knitting socks, so I will never do it. Go ahead and make some sock patterns with building on my ideas. So I was like, you got it, girl. I want to do that, but with what time? Probably not till 2026, unfortunately. I have another pair of socks on the needles, and the O-Rat socks that I'm testing for Lea Anderson, my friend. I'll link their YouTube down below. You should give them a subscribe. Check them out. Follow them. They're coming up with some cool ideas. Oh, look how cute. I'm gonna have rats on my feet. So this is the first sock. I'm just past the heel. This is the heel I did without actually turning my work. Not to brag or anything. I'm working on the other one. I'm gonna get to this section, to this point, and then crank the foot out 2 at a time, and so that the foot is the same length. Oh, and for this I'm using, this is Plucky Knitter Nifty, which is their cashmere blend, the pink, in Baby Boon, I think. And then for the green, this is Uni Merino Mini. I don't know what color that is, I don't remember. The label's over there and I don't want to go get it. Fine, I'll get it. It's in the color Topiary, number 118. So there we go. Pretty soon I'm gonna have rats on my feet. Believe it or not, this is a sweater. These are the saddle shoulders of the Lakes Pullover by Ozetta. So in January, I'm teaching the Rue sweater by Rebecca Clow. So I wanted to knit a plain saddle shoulder just as a reminder of how the construction works before I teach that class. I got the 2 saddles done. I haven't had a chance to have the proper chill knitting time to do the cast on and the short rows to start putting them together. The yarn I'm using is Berroco Remix Worsted in the color 3933, which is called Patina. And this is a really pretty like recycled, it's recycled silk, nylon, cotton, acrylic, and linen. So 100% recycled, and it's a lot softer than it looks. Like it looks like it would be rustic, but it's really soft. It literally just looks rustic, but it's really soft. And I haven't worked with that yarn before, and I'm really liking it. And I love, like, the tweed. I'm not one to, like, look at a pattern and want to make exactly the sweater that the designer has in their pattern pictures. But for this pattern, I do. I want that sweater. I went with this tweed. I wanted to go with a more, this is like a warmer, brownier gray, just because like a regular, like a cooler gray kind of washes me out. Like this gray is okay, I think because it's got like the blue in there, it's not as bad, but if it was just all gray, So I went with the warmer tone, and I'm really excited. I need to work on that. I need to work on all of these. I need to find time to work on all of them. As if I need to cast on another sweater. Here's a swatch for my next sweater. This is gonna be the Moby Sweater by Petite Knit. There's a lot of Petite Knit in here. I'm sorry. I think they're really nice and beginner friendly, so I like to teach them. I understand some people are like tired of them, but sometimes I'm like, especially her like the Dagmar. The Dagmar is having a moment, and I'm being influenced. Okay, love the cables and how like clean it looks. So I decided to make the Moby instead of the Dagmar. Like the lattice on the Moby better. So this is my swatch, and this is Juniper Moon Rambouillet in the color 1004, I believe. Yes, antique lace. As always, have to go down needle sizes because I'm a very loose knitter. I think I had already gone down a millimeter for this swatch, but I am at 18 stitches and I need 20. So I need to go down probably another half mil. This yarn, we just got this yarn in at the shop, and it's so smooshy. It's a little pricey at $25 a skein, but it's gonna be so yummy in all those cables. I can't wait. I shouldn't cast this one on yet, considering my pile of things. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. What else do I got? Oh, I moved my loom into my office. It was in the uninsulated sunroom, so I like barely touched it in the summer because it would get really hot in there, and now that it's cooling off, it's really cold in there. So I decided to move it in here so that I can work on it. I was leaving my looms in behind a closed door because I was worried that our cat Goose would like maybe get stuck in the warp, but she doesn't. So far she's like not interested. She's not interested in messing with it, so I'm not worried about that. So right now I have a placemat project on here that I want to hurry up and get done so that I can do some other things. I have another small weaving project that I've been doing on my pin looms. I had a bunch of breed samples from a class I did this summer that I didn't really know what to do with because they were all really thin 2-plies. So I decided I'm gonna make a like spinning mat, a spinning blanket, not a blanket, a spinning rug, because this wheel will run away from me as I'm spinning on it. So I'm making a mat to put under it and whatever chair I'm using so that it doesn't run away from me. And so I'm using all these rustic handspun yarns on it. So I have some bigger 12x12 squares and some smaller little, like, what are they, like 4x4, 3x3? So that's kind of fun. Nice little weaving project. I'm done with my bigger 12x12s, so I need to make a bunch more, probably about twice as many as I have of the little guys, because they're going to be in the border, and the 12x12s are going to be, I think I have 6 12x12s that are going to be in the middle. In terms of other spinning, I'm just spinning away when I have time. I have a dog yarn commission to work on that I might do a video on. I also finally tested out a Singer sewing machine that I bought months ago and never got around to seeing if it actually worked. And it does. It's perfect. I got it for like 40 bucks at St. Vinny's. It's a 99K, and it's in perfect condition, so that's pretty sick. So I got that set up at my desk here, and at some point this winter I want to go through my fabric stash and organize it, because right now it's just literally piled. It's not folded at all. It's just in a couple bins, just thrown in there, because I want to make some little project bags and maybe give them as gifts for the holidays as well. I also, oh god, I gotta hurry up and finish, or I'm gonna be sweating. Finished this book, Vanishing Fleece by Clara Parks. I literally read this in one night. I haven't been a big reader since I was 12 years old. I haven't been a big reader in 15 years. That's crazy. But apparently when it's about wool, you can't tear me away from it. I'm not surprised. I love this book. It goes through this journey that Clara went on in 2017, 2018-ish. Found herself with 600 pounds of raw wool and went through the process of having it milled at 4 different mills. I'm kind of seeing what the commercial process is all about. And so that was really fun. And I'm like, oh, I want to go visit these places, especially like a commercial scouring operation. I think that would be really cool. There are a couple mills local to me that I do want to go to their open house when I have time. I don't know. I'm one of those types that, like, you know, I loved watching how it's made growing up. So, and I love old machinery is really cool, I think. Especially since that's kind of all we have for milling yarn in the US right now, because we sent it all off to other countries back in the 80s, which she talks about in this book, and kind of like how Reagan really did ruin everything, even the American textile production industry. Which is crazy, because textiles is what this country was founded on. We wouldn't be a country without the textile industry. So, anyways, I think you should read this book if that sounds of any interest to you. I literally was writing a list of all these places that she went. It's like, oh, I want to visit there. That sounds cool. I would like to do that. My magnum opus one day, I want to have my hands in the process of making a project, like from shearing, processing, cleaning the wool, spinning it, dyeing it, weaving it, and sewing it. Like, I want to do all of that for one project at some point. And honestly, I know how to do all of those steps, except for like the very beginnings of shearing and skirting. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. I'm hoping this winter to go through and do so back in August at the Michigan Fiber Festival, I took 4 different classes that were like breed studies, and I think we went through 52 different breeds. So this winter, I do want to go through and sample them all again, because there were some samples that I want to scour a little bit more and spin them again, because some of them were really lanolin-y. I mean, she gave us a good mix of raw wool, washed wool, and like fully processed like roving, so that we didn't have to sit there and like card the whole class. So there are some samples that I want to wash up a little bit more and have more time with them. Because, you know, we went through, and 50 breeds, there was crossover between a few of the different sessions. So we went through about like 20 breeds in 3 hours each class. So I want to have more time with them, and then maybe pull out like what my favorite breeds are, because maybe one day I'll have sheep, and maybe think about what kind of sheep I would want. So that's a project for the winter. I need to be better about planning my hobby time so that I can do all these things that I want to do. I think that's all I got for you. Thanks for hanging. Sorry it's been so long. Don't hold out hope that it won't be a long time till the next one. I'm sorry. What can I say? I'm a busy guy. If you want to keep up to date with what I am doing in between these videos, give me a little follow on the Instas or on Blue Sky. Those are the 2 places that I post decently regularly, depending on how I'm feeling. Thanks for hanging. I hope y'all are having a lovely fall and that you had a good Halloween. I had a great Halloween. My costume was pretty sick. I'm pretty proud of it. Have a good holiday season. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see y'all next video. Happy crafting! Bye!